It would happen sometime that he would put his hand around my waist or try to come in closer to me to talk.
He wanted to see my breasts, and I didn't want to do it. You're going to give me a blowjob or you're going to lose your job.
Remember I told you when you started, the guys who last in this business, the guys who fly straight, low-key, quiet. You gotta set a own mark. Maybe you and Sosa.
This story seems to have, he seems to have a reputation for being a bit of a sleaze, for lack of a better word. And I'm just wondering, you've been on the Hill for a long time, as has Mr. Kenney. Are you aware of this reputation that he has? It seems to be quite widespread.
Frankly and honestly, no. This series of events that have now come to light and are the subject of an official complaint and an investigation are in fact the first time that I have personally been aware of this at all. It is now being properly investigated and obviously being treated very seriously, as well it should.
25-year-old Pascal Brisson says that's the furthest thing from the truth.
The door would always be closed because he insisted on the door to be closed. He would ask me to wear high heels at work more often, said he couldn't stop thinking about me in my bathing suit.
Brisson first wrote Liberal leader Justin Trudeau about the allegations back in August. But it wasn't until October, 2 months later, after Brisson followed up, that she finally got a reply.
It's unacceptable. This was a very serious issue, and I was requesting their help.
The party now says the original email just got buried.
The first email that she sent to the general account for the leader's office came in with the caption line, Senate reform, and the item got lumped together with a whole bunch of Senate reform petitions that were coming in at the same time.
No excuse, says the NDP.
Odd week for him to not be around, especially today.
Well, Justin Trudeau being elusive from the House is not an irregular occurrence. He's not often in the House. He doesn't often pose questions in question period. When you look at the two oppositions, I think it's not difficult to judge that we're providing an effective opposition. Our leaders asking pointed, clear questions, whereas the Liberal leader tends to spend more time out of the House.
Let me ask you again, how unusual do you think it is that it took the party administration to take 2 months to get back to this woman? I spoke to her yesterday. She said it took her 2 months to get a response.
Well, I find that very troubling. Obviously, personally, if I was told allegations of harassment, I would let other superior people in my party know that this was going on. I would try to act upon this, and it's troubling when you see inaction when it comes to something like sexual harassment. These are issues that need to be dealt with right away. So any hesitation on anybody's part, I think, is very troubling.
Colin Kenney has been an outspoken Liberal senator for almost 30 years. He is now under investigation by the Senate after a former aide lodged a sexual harassment complaint.
I didn't feel really respected working for Senator Kenney.
In a recent interview, Pascal Brisson told CBC News she spent half her day running the senator's personal errands. In that same interview, she revealed more about the senator.
He said sexual comments at work, and he would look at me up and down and asked me if I could wear high heels at work.
Brisson filed a formal sexual harassment complaint in the past few weeks.
It would happen sometime that he would put his hand around my waist or try to come in closer to me to talk to me.
It's not the first time the Senate has been made aware of complaints about Kenney's behavior. In 2001, the NATO Parliamentary Assembly complained that the Liberal senator had harassed 2 employees. In a letter obtained by CBC, the Secretary General of the Assembly wrote, "In both cases, the women affected by this problem have indicated that the attention they received was unwelcome, upsetting, and made their work environment uncomfortable." Carolyn Parrish, the head of the Canadian delegation and former Liberal MP at the time, says she was urged to oust Kenney.
It was just general harassment. It was mostly, all that came to my attention was hundreds and hundreds of phone calls and requests to go out for dinner and requests to socialize.
It wasn't only at the Senate where his behavior was questioned. For many years while a senator, Kenny also owned 2 tanning salons in Ottawa. A former salon employee says he requested sexual favors in 2003.
He wanted to see my breasts, and I didn't want to do it. You're going to give me a blowjob or you're going to lose your job. That was it. That was all.
Candice Amis grew up in foster homes. She was an exotic dancer when she got a job at the tanning salon.
This job meant a lot for me at the time.
Amis complained to the Ottawa police. They didn't believe her story, in part because she had lied to them in the past. But a former employee of the senator says she now regrets not corroborating Amis's story at the time because she knew other workers had also complained about him.
He was naked from the waist down, so I got the full frontal view of him. And when I came in, he didn't apologize.
Senator Colin Kenny refused to give us an interview. He says he can't comment publicly because of the Senate's investigation. He added that the other complaints are a fabrication. Brigitte Bureau, CBC News, Ottawa.
Remember I told you when you started, the guys who last in this business, the guys who fly straight, low-key, quiet.
My first knowledge of this occurred, was it yesterday or Wednesday? Just in the last 48 hours. And as I understand it, he included in his note of resignation a retroactive date.